In this video, I'll be showing you the changes since last time, and show you my deeps and attack speed and everything. So here we go. Now I have 4.93. And my whirling blade speed goes to 201, and I changed quite a bit of things. In terms of gear wise, I didn't change much in terms of like the actual pieces of gear that I'm using for energy shield. But what happened was I was leveling up a whole bunch of discharges in the side gems, and those got to 2020. I evolved them to try to get 2120. So that worked out, and now I'm leveling disciplines. But I started putting in castle damage taken on Mortal Call for defensiveness, and I put it on Summon Ice Golem to have it up occasionally. It's not really that important. And then I also have a Vaal haste now, so that's why I added what I added to the gem links. And then I used to use Blasphemy, Assassin's Mark. Now I'm using Enlighten. It's a level 2 Enlighten. I have no other things on the skill tree, and it's barely pushing it to 33%. So I can run triple 33%, Purity of Fire, Purity of Lightning, and Discipline. Now the reason I want this is because it gives me max resistances, and that's very nice. Also, it gives you a lot of resist, so you can drop a lot of pieces of gear with heavy resist, and push more energy shield, like flat energy shield, or maybe attack speed on a ring if you want it, which is pretty good. Also, since I got a Blade Vortex on the 6th link, I was linking a lot of Volt Protectors today. I just made them 6 socket and kept reselling after I fuse it. Like I would use fusings on these 6 sockets and then sell the 5 links. As long as the 5 links are less pricey than the cost to get a 6 socket, then you should keep selling the 5 links and not roll over them, because you save a couple of chaos that way. So that's what I've been doing to get the 6 link. I maybe like 2,000 fusings used before I got it. So that's like really late game though. It's really difficult to get that kind of stuff. But because of the Blade Vortex, I'm usually really high on the power charges, so I dropped this Annihilation Cluster. And now my discharge is a 50.49 crit chance. And my reasoning was I can drop the crit because the multi is not that much, so I picked up like Jewel Socket for damage and attack speed, and my effective damage should be higher when I have Diamond Flask up, because I'll be cap crit most of the time anyways. If you don't like the Jewel Socket, it gives 4% ES, because 20 int is 4%, and it gives attack speed or multi or whatever 3 module you have. You can also just get like strength and int that way from Light of Divinity. I think that'll push you just in enough range for a Mortal Call. I have a strength belt, so I don't need the strength. Reduced flash charge belt would be like a lot better, but you have to corrupt your own. And you can also just get like a spell damage 3rd point. It should be better than like this. But anyways, let me just show you my discharge deeps without golem up. You gotta like play around with your stats for a little bit in order to get your character just right. As you can see, like my whirling blade speed is quite fast now. So what is it? Discharge 39,341. With Annihilation, it was 40.8. So, but it should be higher with Diamond Flask, the effective damage, and also got like a little bit of ES and attack speed. So that's just the kind of stuff you play around with when you get to like really high levels of character and you like want to min-max everything. But anyways, I think that covers all the changes I've done. I didn't really touch anything else, it seems. Yeah, so I think this character is like pretty much decked out. Oh yeah, I guess if you have Voidbringers as well, you should drop the Annihilation Cluster, because it doesn't give that much multiplier. You can get much better damage multiplier per point if you don't spec into it. So let me just show you a map. I'll just talk about how I do mapping in this video when I do the map. So what I've been doing is I have like almost no maps basically, and that's because I haven't been chiseling like much at all. I maybe chisel like 40 maps a day, like 1/3 of them were chiseled. But if you, I'll just briefly mention in this video while I map how to like map for currency. Basically, if you start doing alking, then you'll get like you'll get map drops a lot faster. But I don't think you can sustain transmutes past like 75 or 75, like 74 or 5-ish. Then if you start transmuting those, it's really difficult to like sustain that level of maps with just transmute. So you have to start alking at that point in order to sustain that map pool. If you start going to 77s and you don't chisel, it's like really impossible to sustain 77, 78 without chisel. So if you want to sustain 77, 78, I think you really need to chisel. And like plus you can't gain maps. I think it's really important to gain maps as well. Sustaining is like one thing, but gaining map pool is like really important as well. So if you're like not chiseling on like 77s, it's really difficult. I don't think it's on average possible to gain maps, especially not a fast rate. Once you start doing onslaught or map fragments, then you start definitely gaining maps. I also think if you roll like one pack size, costs maybe like 2 or 3 chaos on average. That's pretty good too. So those are all things you like have to do at like 77 plus. So people ask me like, oh, what level should I chisel? If you want to get maps really quickly, you can start chiseling at like 75. But later on in leagues, when you can just buy maps, you should just look at what prices you can buy the maps at and make your decision based on that. But basically, 77, 78 is like really all you need to reach 100. It just might take a little longer than like 79s. If you do like chisel alk and just go, not even re-rolling, then you can sustain 77, 78 like indefinitely. But if you start like re-rolling to like one pack size 90 quantity after Xana, then you can shoot up to 79s pretty frequently off of 77, 78s doing that. So that's what mapping is like. And if you're like stuck below that, say you're stuck on like tier 6, just keep running more and more maps. You probably just need to run like 100 or 200 maps before you break out of there. Like it comes pretty quickly, so you don't really have to like worry about that. So yeah, basically mapping right now is you dump currency into it, and that's pretty much how you get your returns. If you don't dump currency into it, then you can't get maps. There's no like special method, there's no oh you can play right. It's just pretty much a currency game. And I guess the other thing to mention is if you have like a really build that is like really specific and can't run all the map mods, it's pretty hard to like do mapping because you're gonna have to spend a lot of money to re-roll so many things. For example, if you have Righteous Fire, you either can't run Righteous Fire on a lot of map mods, or you're gonna have to re-roll. So yeah, I guess your build also affects it a lot. And I guess the biggest thing is how fast you clear. If your build clears super fast, you can. It feels like you get a lot more maps because you run more maps. Since you're faster speed, you do a map in 3 minutes, it's done, and then you get maybe like 1 or 2 maps, and you feel like you're getting more maps overall. But yeah, on a per map basis, it's pretty much the standard I think is like something like 80 pack size, 80 with like 1 pack size mod, and you can like sustain like 77s indefinitely that way. Well, I guess I should explain how like pack size works. So when they changed the mapping, before there used to be like a pack size rule. That's no longer the case. What happens is they have mods, and each mod gives like quantity or rarity or pack size. So when people refer to like one pack size mod, what they're referring to is a mod that gives pack size. And what mods give pack size? The ones that affect your character negatively are the ones that give pack size. So all the minus max, all the curses, all the smotherings, curses such as enfeebled temporal chains, those things that negatively affect your character are the ones that give pack size mods. So every time you see like quantity on a map, it's because you're playing some map that's like shitting on your character. So this one has elemental equilibrium. This one is a pack size mod. It gives 10 pack size, as you can see. It negatively affects your characters only for like certain characters. So I mean, on this character you use elemental equilibrium, so it's not necessarily a negative thing, but all the other ones are like enfeebled temp chains. Maybe your build can use those or benefit from them, but in general they negatively affect your character, and they give pack size, and that's what a pack size full is. So let me show you another example. Usually you want to chisel 78s. I mean, I don't have chisels because I'm not buying them right now, but you usually don't want to run this kind of map for a 78. You want at least one pack size with like an 80 something plus, so that when you put it into the Xana, it like pushes it towards 90. So like this is really a good map, but I can't run it on my character because it's elemental reflect. So you know, this kind of map is like amazing. It's like you don't find this map very often, but you know, a lot of times you can't run it because your build can't do certain map mods. Right now I'm not safe. I'm not comfortable doing elemental reflect, so you know. See, this is a really bad map too because it's 50% quantity, super low, but some people like are okay with this. They run it as well. 70, you know, stuff like this. It like takes a while to roll on certain maps. Undead. I think Undead is a really bad like pack size. So as you can see, like those examples where you have pack size, you have it negatively your character is negatively affected by a certain amount. No life or mana regen, that's 12 pack size. Fleet effects on enemy monsters doesn't give you pack size, it gives you like quantity. I don't know how the rarity roll works. I think it has some sort of similar logic like that. But yeah, that's what people are referring to when they refer to pack size. And like the effective maps you drop are pretty much just like whatever base map drop rate times the like total quantity multiplier. In this case, it would be 2.04. And then multiply by the pack size modifier times 1.12. So the effective map modifier would be like all those things multiplied together. So quantity and both pack size both matter. It's not like one is better than the other. It just affects it differently. I mean, it affects it like in separate multipliers. So keep that in mind. Also, the other thing to note is that pack size is the one that gives you EXP more than quantity. But it's not like you can neglect quantity or pack size. The other thing I should mention is if you can get like 100 quantity roll just on a map without any pack size, that's pretty good too, and you should probably run it as a 78. So yeah, I guess I'll show you like more examples of the map. You see this has temp chains minus max. There's two modifiers that negatively affect your character. The temporal chains is a curse, and the minus max makes your resistances on the character go down. So it gives like 30 pack size. So yeah, that's how mapping works. You would typically run stuff like that. This is a little like boring because it's temp chains, stuff like that. Minus max is very dangerous. The things you gotta watch out for are minus max volatiles, bearers, elemental damage that really hurts you. But yeah, that's how you do your mapping. If you start chiseling and alching, the more currency you dump into the map, the more returns you're gonna get. I guess I'll cut the video for today. In the next video, I'll probably go through like how your gear progress in a little more detail. What like top end gears you should be like stopping at, and like more about how much you should pay in order to get your gear, and what's the most cost effective way, and maybe like go in depth about compared to other builds, what's like cost effectiveness about this one versus others, and what you should pay attention to. So I'll see you guys next time.